Hello, everybody, and welcome to this Whistle Stop Wednesday tour of a demo of the library of the Gateway Search in the library. Today, what we will be doing is looking is doing an actual search and how you would do a search in the library, and kind of showing you different ways of giving yourself a good search results for when you are doing searches in the library. And we are also going to be looking at different ways to get more relevant, as well, getting relevant results as well. So my name is Pamela Terajak, and I am the information specialist at the Youngstown campus, which means I help serve the Youngstown campus in-seat population and the online population with library services. Let's get started because we have a pretty good amount of stuff to cover today. And I want to get started with the presentation. If you are joining in today, I will also be sending this presentation to you for a video link to this presentation. So by email. So look out in your email for a video of this presentation, so you can review this whenever you need to. When you are at Eastern Gateway Community College's website, there are four places for you to access the library. One of them is in your Gateway student portal. There is an icon that says library there. One is this library tab right over here. The other one is underneath the students tab under library resources. And then there's one about us on the About Us tab under the online library. When you get to the library resources page, this is the page that you'll come up with. And I'm going to just briefly spin through some of the icons here, because that is covered actually in the Whistle Stop Wednesday tour that was a few weeks ago on understanding what the library website is. But I'm just going to go briefly explain what some of these icons are before we hit a search. The appointments and workshops is a place where you can go and sign up for one of these workshops that you're attending right now, or sign up for an appointment for online virtual appointment with one of the librarians. Our contact and hours area is the place that you can find where our contact and hours are. How-tos and FAQs are where we answer the frequently asked questions that students and faculty and staff have asked us about the library. So go in and explore that as well and see if there's any questions you have that might be answered there. GatorLink is our library collection that we own here, and the Youngstown collection and the Steubenville physical collection, and several of the ebooks we own as well. We're not going to really concentrate on that today, but just in letting you know that it is there. Nexus Uni is another thing we won't be concentrating on today, but it's very important if you are in the paralegal field. That is the place where you will get legal sources. You could get information on news items of the day, and this will also be a good place if you are looking for business information as well. The research guides are guides that we have constructed and we've curated to help you all through various aspects of research, whether in individual classes or in your fields, or overall research problems like citation and writing. We also have this tutorials area, which is an interactive tutorial on how to work the library. So 6 interactive tutorials that will help you through your time through working various aspects of the library. I will also point out in this helpful library links area, we have a library YouTube channel that you can get help. You could also view some other videos as well. We have several ones on Nexus Uni in there that might be useful. Finally, one of the last places I'm going to mention is this Ask the Library We're Online. This is the place where you can start up a library chat with us, and you can also email us at libhelp@egcc.edu if you're getting stuck. So one of those two places are a really good bet if you're asking for help. But today, for almost all of our session, we are going to be concentrating on this box over here, especially the search all box. So that way we can, you can get an idea of how to do a search in the most common place that most students will do their research from when they are asked to do research in the library for a given project or paper. Now, the publications area, GatelyLink and OhioLink, I'm going to cover briefly. Excuse me, let me take a sip of water. Okay, OhioLink is a consortium of libraries across the state of Ohio, both public and private. And we have borrowing privileges with them. So if you are an Ohio resident, you can get books sent to you from the Ohio State University or the or Case Western Reserve or many of the libraries that are listed there, just to name a few. And also because of our union with OhioLink, our consortium buying power, we have the ability to have access to this rather large database company called EBSCOhost. And that is how you will access most of your materials through EGCC, the EGCC libraries, because we have access to this rather large database of journal articles that is that you can find your digitized journal articles through there. GatelyLink again is our physical and digital collection that we own on our own. And publications area is where you would get journal titles only. So in some ebooks. So that is through EBSCOhost. And we're not really going to cover that today because it just kind of it is covered more in like a deep dive to library services if you wish to take that or view the video on that in our YouTube channel. But like I said, we're going to be doing a search all, which is going to be the primary way most students will do their research here at the college. So I will start off with a scenario for you. Pretend you are in a class that you are given almost free reign on what kind of research topic you can choose. And you are a mother of a teenage girl who is starting to use social media and just increasing her screen time on social media. And you're getting worried about because you've heard in the news about mental health of teenage girls and social media and all of this stuff about that. So what you want to do is do a paper on that, so that way it could serve a dual purpose, getting your grade on the paper and doing a topic that you are kind of passionate about at this present moment. So doing a topic you're passionate about is usually a good way of making sure that you're getting a good rigorous, you're doing good research, because you want to make sure you have all the bases covered in something that you're passionate about. So we're going to do, pretending that this is your topic, exploring the social media's effects on the mental health of teenage girls. And we're going to do a gateway search on that topic in the library and the search all version of the library databases. Now, when I say it says search all, it searches everything. It searches the physical books that the EGCC owns. It searches the ebooks EGCC owns. It searches all of the OhioLink members' libraries and sees if they have physical copies there. It also searches the OhioLink Electronic Journal Center. It searches the OhioLink Electronic Book Center. It searches EBSCOhost's many databases. It searches some of Nexus Uni. It searches some videos as well. So it searches quite literally and publications too. So it searches quite literally everything. So when you are doing a search all function, you will get everything possible on that topic. So when you do that, and you notice that we have already some pre-limiters here, you can limit by keyword, which is what most students will be doing. Title is the title of the work and author. You can also limit your results by pre-limited by full text over here. So for example, if you are a fully online student and you want to make sure that you are not getting something that is not available to you because it is a physical piece of media that has to be sent to you buy an Ohio Link library, or is a book that we own physically here that you can't access, I would always suggest to do a full text pre-limit here. I'm not going to do that right at this present moment because I do want to show you the slow process through the library databases. You could also pre-limit it by peer-reviewed, which is like the best of research. Peer-reviewed are sources are journal articles that have been reviewed by a board of the author's peers. So, for example, geneticists look over a geneticist article. Historians look over a historian's article. A biologist looks over a biologist's article, so on and so forth, et cetera, et cetera. So that way you know that somebody who knows what they're talking about has looked over that paper and they do have the expertise to know what's right and what's wrong in said article. Now, like I said, it is the best of the best, but you might not need peer-reviewed sources for every one of your research papers. You are most of the time required to have scholarly sources. Scholarly and peer-reviewed are alike, but have a nuanced difference, whereas peer-reviewed has that added protection. The peer-reviewed scholarly journals are rigorous in nature. They mean that the article has an actual source pages to them, or some kind of bibliographic citations to them. The journal is very, very limiting in what kind of advertisements they have, because they're not trying to sell you stuff. So you kind of know if you have a scholarly source if you have that checked off as well. You don't need peer-reviewed peer-reviewed does not always equal scholarly research. So with that in mind, let's actually get into the nitty-gritty of the source. I'm just going to type in social media and explore what we have on the topic, because you just want to see what's available in the library first. You always just want to do the most basic search first, just to explore what's possible. So let's just hit this and hit the search button. By this point, it's going to ask you to log in with your EGCC email account. I will do that, and hopefully. And it'll come up with the results list here. So here's a way to read the screen. Everything in the central area over here is where is your hits, is the research hits that you will access your information from. Over here is where you can add complexity and more words and more terms to your search, because you'll be crafting search terms on your own. You can't just put a full question in when you're in the library. You kind of have to break down a search term in your search query into the most basic phrases as possible. And over here on this left-hand side of the screen is your limiters area, where you can filter your results. We call them limiters here in the library, but in most other websites, you would see them as filters. And if you are on a mobile device, sometimes this column is hidden because your mobile device will obviously want to maximize how much you can see from the main screen. So what you need to do is, if you're on a mobile device, you will notice that there's these little tiny arrow things. Just look out for this arrow, tap the arrow, and it will pop this column out. But for now, we're not going to do this quite yet, because you will notice that there are a few things we can do to add more complexity first to our search terms. And you notice that we have gotten a lot, because social media is a pretty wide topic range. It gave us 13 million results, which is just an incredible amount of results, very overwhelming. And most students will look here and say, I don't know where to go from here. So that is one of the reasons why you're going to want to learn how to get more complexity to your search terms. So one of the things that you notice is also that there is a research starter. A research starter is basically is basically a encyclopedic entry on a broad topic to teach students who may just want to do something on social media and not have a further complex, more complex path that you have already chosen in this hypothetical scenario. And that will teach them what they might want to explore within this. A business major might want to explore how to use social media as a marketing tool. A computer major might want to explore how to use social media and construct his or her own social media site. A person who is in nursing might want to explore how social media was used during the COVID-19 pandemic. So there are various ways that you can look at social media through various lenses, and that is one of the reasons why this is a broad topic, because it can spur different parts of discussion on different disciplines. So one of the things so we're going to start adding complexity here first to kind of whittle it down to the discipline you want and the topic you are actually looking for. One of the things you can do is to make sure that you're just searching social media. So you're going to put the term in quotation marks. This allows you to search as a phrase, not as words. And you will notice that when I update the search by hitting search again, it will whittle it down to 3 million results. Again, further limiting this, further kind of giving that result. My favorite example of this is Benedict Arnold. For example, you can find, if you don't put it in quotation marks, you might find things about Arnold Schwarzenegger liking Eggs Benedict, for goodness sakes. So that allows you to find the results that you need. Now we're going to add more terms to these other search fields. And at this point, I'm going to introduce you to the and, or not. And or not are called Boolean operators. And Boolean operators tell the search engine how you want the additional search terms to be searched for, and adds more complexity to the search. So you're asking it to find social media and an additional phrase and excluding everything else that doesn't include that phrase within it. Or it adds the different permutations of a phrase. You'll see that when we are typing in our next search term as in this area. Not excludes words. So excludes words entirely. My favorite example of this one is when during the middle of the pandemic, I was helping a student who was doing a paper on teaching babies sign language. You know, that baby sign language you hear about. And she was coming up with more and more results about teaching deaf children sign language, and she was getting frustrated. So she came to me and said, help. And so we realized we had to put a not in there to exclude the word deafness to make sure that baby sign language can be the only result that will come up for the student. So what we're going to almost always do an and. We're gonna do this and see where we go from the and. So one of the things is you're looking for this in this teaching, figuring out how social media affects the mental health of teenage girls. And so you're looking for a specific demographic of people that you are exploring about their usage of social media. So let's put teenage girls in. And you will notice over here on the drop-down area that will help you auto-populate this field, that it has that permutation of or adolescent girls, or young women, or girls. I'm not going to use all different permutations because it belabors the point for this project, for this workshop, I mean. So let's just keep it to just the word teenage girls and put in a quotation marks like usual. And we can hit search again. And you will notice that comes up with 12,000 results. And like you said, it manages it nicely. You can spin through this again just to explore what can be possible. And you will already notice that the first hit and the third hit over here And is social media making us less social? That could be useful. Comparative study on gender-wise social media utilization behavior of agricultural students during COVID-19. Now, that's not really useful. Future of TikToks, tweets, and teen girls. That could be useful. Anxiety caused by social media on teenage girls, definitely useful. So you can already scroll through this and the first couple pages of this and find your hits and the result, the kind of sources that you want to use. But we might as well do some more complexity to the topic, and we could always limit it again. We could add more search terms here, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to put mental health in there because you're exactly looking for mental health. And we're going to hit search again. And again, it limited it even further to the 3,000 results. And you will notice that a couple of them are a little bit more useful for you, mental health and the TikTok effect. You will notice that it just sends this message that you're nothing but your body. Again, qualitative exploration. Social context of adolescent mental health and well-being. That's really good. Wait a second. All of these, many of these have these full text binders, PDF full text underneath it. And this one doesn't. This one is one of those ones that one of those academic journals that isn't available to us. Because we haven't either signed up for access to that particular database, or we have or it just is physical in nature. Sometimes that's possible. So there are many different reasons why that this source isn't available to us. So in order not to get frustrated with the fact that these two, albeit perfect sources, aren't available to you, you will want to do the full text now. Hit that full text button. And then again, it will limit it again to 2,000 results. Another thing you might want to do beforehand is, if you want to make sure that you have that peer-reviewed area, you can go again to this limit to area on the left-hand side of the screen and hit the scholarly peer-reviewed journals and make sure you have that specific thing necessary to do a scholarly, a peer-reviewed results list. You can also adjust the date bar, because you notice that the first date is 1994. So that could show you how useful that could show you that is a little early for your case, because one, social media didn't exist in 1994, and you want something a little bit more current for the teenage girls of today. I mean, we don't want MySpace and AOL Instant Messenger. We want Snapchat and TikTok. So what you can do is adjust that date bar to maybe 2015 by typing in the numbers 2015 on your keyboard and hitting the enter key on your keyboard, and it will update it to everything within from the year 2015 to 2023, and you have a nicely updated results area. Another couple ways you can limit it is by source types. Or publisher, publication, language. If you are in a major that is international in nature, you can limit it. You can make sure you have something that's only in English. If you are doing a science paper and you're afraid you're going to get things in Chinese or something. Or you limit it by geography if you are in something like a business field or a medical field or a legal field, and you want to make sure that it's only the United States that you're looking, because every country is different with its regulations when it comes to those types of fields, and also education as well. So that way you're getting something that is applicable to the regulatory bodies and is okay with the regulatory bodies in the different countries. But also limited by content provider as well, with the different disciplines that are underneath the EBSCOhost databases collections. So if you are just looking for something in the science fields, you can already pre-limited by anything in the science field. But we're not going to do those today because, again, belaboring a point and we're already running quite over. whistle stop, which is only supposed to be a half hour. So I'm going to show you a way to access these sources right now. Mental health and the TikTok effect, you can click that. And you're going to scroll down, and you will notice it's from Therapy Today. And you can scroll down, and here is the source underneath it. And you can also save this source on this tools area. Again, you might have to bump it out. You could save this source to a OneDrive or a Google Drive. You could save it to a browser of some sort, or save it to your thumb drive or your actual hard drive. You can cite this source. You can click this, and you can scroll down. And you can see the APA 7th edition here, or the MLA 9th edition. And you could highlight this, copy and paste this to your works cited or reference page, and that will take care of that for you. We just have to double check against something like in Purdue OWL, for example, to make sure that all the capitalization and different things are okay with this source. But it's usually more correct than most other citation generators out there. You can also create the permalink over here or print this. And again, this is the source you can access to get this. And you will notice that a few of them are like PDF full text over here. You will notice, again, this is just below here again. And you can do all those different tools, but then here's PDF full text, in which you can get the actual PDF article of the source. And then you can download this and print this from this thing. So you could have a better and more clearer to read article on this. And that is one of the other ways you can get to that source. I'm going to go through one more, A Perfect Storm over here, a developmental socio-cultural framework. Can you please make sure that you're muted? I'm hearing some echoing. Full text fine, you can unmute a little bit later when we get to questions if you need it, but right now, can you make sure you're muted? Full text finder is a place you can click to it's full text finder. It just leads you to another area of the databases and find full text from Ohio Links Electronic Journal Center, and that just leads you to that other database that links into the full text, and this will lead you to the full text in this files area. So it's just another place to look when you are doing another place to click, just a couple extra steps in the process. So those are but then you notice throughout the whole thing, you will notice that these sources, these 2,000 sources we've come up with are all very relevant and accurate to the source. You just have to know you just have to kind of refine sources, continually refine sources, and you can't put a full sentence in there. You kind of have to break down the source into its most to some of its most important terms and put it in quotation marks. One of the things I'm going to kind of show you at this moment is a physical book itself. So that way, if you are an actual in-seat student or an Ohio resident, this is one of the ways you can actually access a book. I'm going to go and find this one, Girls on the Brink, by Donna Jackson Nakazawa. This is what an actual physical book looks like on this screen. You will notice that there is an actual locations here, and one of them is available. So you might want to get that one. So here you would hit the green request button and scroll and please select the school or institute, EGCC. Click our school, submit above information, and it will ask you for your name and a barcode number and pickup location. If you are an Ohio resident that is close to one of our colleges, You can select Jefferson or Youngstown and make sure or if you're closer to something like maybe one of our students says maybe closer to something like Worcester or Bluffton, you can pick up from there as well and just put your last name in here. I'm just gonna put my last name in like this, and then my barcode number, which is my first initial, my last name, and the last 4 digits of an ID number. And then I just type that in, and I could submit it, and then it will sort that item. I'm not going to go through the full request process because I don't want to read the book. So just giving you that example of how to do something like that. The first initial and the first letter of your last name are capitalized, by the way. And if you want a further idea of what your barcode looks like, you can go into the FAQ section, and there is a question there is an answer to that question as well. At this point, I am done with the presentation, and I know we're about a minute over, but does anybody have any further questions about this or any questions whatsoever before we leave each other for the afternoon? You could, again, at this point, you can unmute yourself, or you can type in the chat area and ask questions there. I will give you a minute or two. And if there's no questions, again, I'll leave you another minute or two to type this in, but I'll just do my final spiel for thanking you all for attending this Whistle Stop Wednesday tour of a demo of the library search. Expect a video of this workshop to be sent to you through your email, whatever email you signed up to attend this workshop with. And I hope to see you all in future Whistle Stop tours and other workshops throughout the library this year. There will be a couple offered. There's one more, at least one more Whistle Stop tour offered this summer on the A to Z workshops. That is the A to Z databases that will be good for if you are trying to find something that is specific to a discipline, or exploring other aspects of what the library has to offer outside of this search all area. So if you're looking for something a little bit more crafted to maybe a certain topic, because I leave that one open to more experimentation, then you might want to hop on to that one specifically to sign up for that one. But since if nobody else has asked a question, I am going to wrap this up and thank you all. And again, thank you all for attending, and have a wonderful afternoon and rest of the day. And we're going to say goodbye to each other. Bye-bye.